everybody, it's Noreen from Organized and Creative Mom. Thanks so much for joining me today. If this is the first time that you are joining me on Organized and Creative Mom, it may be because of the topic of today's video, which is very unlike other videos I've done on my channel. Over the last several weeks, I can't even count how many requests I've had to share my setup for how I Facebook Live with my customers on my Facebook page, and also how I use my overhead filming setup, what my overhead filming setup is, so that I can create tutorial videos and things like that. Now, about maybe 2.5 years ago, I actually stopped doing a lot of my in-person events as a Creative Memories advisor. Mostly because of my health, partly because of the time commitment with my 2 young boys. So I moved a lot of my business online, and I've had great success with doing Facebook Lives on my business page, as well as now offering online courses. I've had a YouTube channel for a few years now. It's certainly not the busiest YouTube channel out there, but the people who do follow me, my subscribers, are very loyal, and they do like what I provide for them each month. So in light of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, many Creative Memories advisors and of course other direct sales business people have lost the ability to connect with their customers in person and are trying to move their businesses online as well. And I've had, I don't even know, I can't even keep count of how many requests I've had to show and share the video equipment that I use, my lighting, my setup, all of that kind of thing. And especially the application that allows me to switch back and forth. So 1 minute I can be talking to you face on like this. The next minute I can share a sketch with you. I can show you whatever's on my table in front of me. I can even put a logo on top of whatever I'm working on. I can bring you back here and then show my company logo. Or I could show a picture of my 2 boys out walking near our cabin, or even a little video of some geese in our pond. So I can do all of that because of an application called Switcher. And you can see that at switcherstudio.com, and there is a fee for it, but I believe there's also a free trial version, and there's also a free light version called Switcher Go. I'm going to detail all of that down below in my in the description. Plus, I've also got a blog post with a lot of this information for you. Okay, so I've enlisted hubby to help me because I couldn't figure out how I was going to show you my system without me sort of using my system. And he's going to film me, and I'm going to show you how I have it all set up, describe my equipment, and we're going to walk through what I do when I either go on live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or if I'm just creating a video, okay? What really changed for me was when I got this particular Archon mount. It's called the Remarkably Creative mount. And as you can see, it has the base, and it has a mount for my iPad, and then it has an arm that extends over my project with a mount for my phone. And this, coupled with an application called Switcher Studio, is really what changed the game for me in terms of being able to do Facebook Lives for my customers and filming overhead videos for my YouTube channel. So I'm going to walk you through how I set up my filming for a Facebook Live or for when I'm filming a YouTube video. First of all, I just wanted to let you know that I always have to have my little post-it note here so that I'm reminded to look at the camera. Otherwise, it looks like I'm looking off into space. So I've got my Switcher Studio app open here on my iPad, and I've got my phone in the top mount, so it's facing down. So I'm just going to click on Use as Switcher, and then this brings up my control panel. I'm going to flip this view around so that it can actually see me. There we go. And now I'm going to connect my iPhone. So I'm going to add an input. And I've already made sure that my iPhone can be found. And again, there's lots of documentation on switcher.com. I'm just going to click on Noreen's iPhone and it's going to connect me. So now I'm done, and you can see that that's what my phone sees. So in the screen, I can see what's on my table. That way I can look at my hands and see what my hands are doing and make sure that everything stays in the frame. Then if I want to share the sketch with you, I can just click on the sketch and that will appear in the screen. I'll add my logo across the top of it, and then once I'm done with that, I can come back to the regular screen and continue filming. But if all of this seems a little bit more complex than what you want, but you still need some ideas for doing Facebook Live or overhead filming, I'll give you a couple of other options. For a long time, I used something like this. It clamps onto the edge of my table, and it has a gooseneck, and then this can hold your iPhone over top of your work surface. It isn't the most sturdy, and you don't have a lot of reach with it, but it's a good starting option. Another setup that I like to use is a tripod with a long arm over it that has an attachment where my phone can rest. This is great if I'm just doing overhead filming. I don't have the option to switch back and forth, but again, we had the tripod, so I ordered the attachment and the pole, and that worked really well for a long time too. The final option, again, if you don't think you want to have the ability to switch back and forth between different cameras, would be to go with the standard Archon mount with just the overhead holder. You can see that there's no iPad mount here. It's just holding your phone. And because each of these is adjustable, you have the option of how close you want it to be to your project. And of course, you can also swivel this up and do your Facebook Lives like that. So those are a couple of other options that you have. All right, so now we're on the opposite side of my scrap table, and I just wanted to give you a sense of how I have this set up. You can see on either end I have two softbox lights, then I have two clamp-on lights, my mount, and then my tripod is standing here. I keep my tripod handy for just when I want to use an overhead video. I like it because the long arm will reach closer to me on the other side of my scrap desk. You can see here then that this is the Archon mount. And I don't think I mentioned this, but it's fairly easy to take apart. It can store flat. It actually comes in a fairly small box, so it's easy to store. You don't have to have it sitting on your table all the time. These particular lights are just from IKEA. I think they're called Tertial, and you can see how they clamp on to the edge of my desk. The nice thing about them is that I can rotate the head and focus it on my work while I'm scrapping, and then aim it upwards to bounce off my white ceiling to give me a more even light while I'm filming. The softbox lights were a little bit of a bigger investment, but they've really done a nice job to help me create an overall light space and to eliminate the shadows. In the blog post, you'll find some details about all of these, but one of the biggest tips I can give you about lighting is to make sure that you use bright white or daylight light bulbs. I really hope that that has answered some of your most burning questions about how you can get online and connect with your customers during this time virtually. Again, this is going to be great for Facebook Lives, creating how-to videos, doing virtual crops, virtual parties, so to speak, and hopefully that will continue even after the COVID-19 pandemic is over. I expect that most of us are going to be in this situation for a long time, and I think that it's going to change how we do business in many, many different ways. So setting up a Facebook page, offering Facebook Lives, offering tutorials, virtual crops, online classes, all of those kinds of things for your customers is going to enable you to connect with them and serve them better during this time. Okay, so again, I'll put the coupon code for the Archon mounts down below, and I'll also link to my other equipment so that you can take a look. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is in the links below as well, or definitely put a comment below the video and I will try to help you out as best I can. Good luck to you in this strange new world of business and virtual business, virtual learning. And I hope that you are all staying well and healthy and safe during this time. Thanks very much for joining me today. Take care. Bye-bye for now.